is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerd and nerdettes? I am the host of The Gathering. My name is Sky, and we have a very special bonus episode, 4th of July special. A lot of specials there, but first off, I never gather alone. Mary, that one was for you. I do have two really special nerds in studio, in the podcast studio in Pasadena with me tonight. I'd like to introduce them, and I am super excited they're here, just so you know. First off is Anthony. Anthony, what's going on, man?
Hello, my fellow Autobots. How's it rolling?
What's up, dude? Nice to have you in the studio, in the new and improved Move studio. The next guest here tonight has seen the other studio only in the virtual world, and his name is Adam.
What's going on, everyone on the internet? Thank you for making me a part of this podcast. I'm so happy to be here.
I know, you're actually in studio, and this is crazy. I can't believe it. Adam's actually sitting here. He's taking in the gathering home base, pretty much.
We're gathering.
Yes, we are, finally. Well, first off, thanks, guys, for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making me part of your day, Adam.
No problem. We made time.
No,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we had a blast today.
Yeah, so basically, I love these two guys, and they got to come out and hang out, and we got to do some fun stuff. We're going to go over all that stuff. But I first off, we'll do just a bit of housekeeping. Thank you for making The Gathering a part of your day, as Adam always says. Don't forget, subscribe to us on whatever, wherever you actually listen to this podcast, on any of the major networks. If you listen to us on iTunes, go ahead and give us a shout out on there. Give us a little note. Let us know how we're doing. And if you listen to us on Pandora, give us a big thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Okay, so we had an amazing day. We nerded out, huge nerding out. So Anthony, talk to us about what we first did today.
Oh, we went to the pretty much I can only describe it as like nostalgic. Like every nerd's like nostalgia, like when you were children. It's like going down to it's called Toyzilla. That's what it's called. And what's crazy is it's like walking
in a basement.
Yes,
it's in a basement.
It's in a basement, and like
that scared me a bit. I feel like, oh crap, we're gonna get abducted down. This is how Taken starts.
It's in a basement, and the first thing you see when you go down is this weird looking like mini Godzilla. Right? That's the first thing.
That was the first thing I saw, and this. Quick, long story short, I saw it once back in 2019. Didn't get it. When I went back to go get it, it was gone. Found it today, and I was like, I gotta get it. This is my redemption.
Oh, you're talking about your...
No, the mini Godzilla.
Oh, really?
I saw it in 2019. I didn't get it, and then I was like, okay, whatever. Went back to go get it. It was gone.
That's awesome. I was actually surprised. I was like, I saw that. I'm like, I'm tempted for this, and then he picked it up. So of course I can't get it because now I'm copying him if I do. Okay. So we walked into this place. We found it. It was basically, we went there because they were you could do these weird raffle pops where you go and you pick a number and you can get a pop, and then we ended up all getting crappy pops, but that wasn't the point. We ended up finding this gym, which is called Toyzilla. It's in a basement, and it has loose toys, new toys, pops, action figures. I almost bought a G1 Soundwave. Right? Did I say that right, Anthony? He corrected me in the story.
I called him out because he called it a G1 Shockwave. And I had to bend down, like, look at the case, like, that's Soundwave. It's like, no, Shockwave.
Wasn't Shockwave the gun? He was a gun.
No. Shockwave was a gun at one point. He was a gun. Then later on, they transformed into a ship.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Originally, he was a gun.
Originally, he was a gun.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. All right. So, we all bought some stuff. What did you buy, Adam?
Okay, so I bought the Godzilla. It was like $20. So I was like, great. And the thing about it is, like, it's so cute. It's like a little miniature Godzilla piggy bank. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get this. But the second one was, I found a toy from my childhood. I had not seen this for over 20 years. And I found it once in 2018 in New Mexico. Didn't get it. I saw it today, and I was like, I have to get it. This is my redemption. So it's like a little, for all you Beast War fans, it's like a little transformer. It turns into a rhino. So I pretty much bought that. Oh, yeah.
That's what he was saying when he found it. He's like, oh, yeah.
Nah, it was pretty much like opening the Ark of the Covenant.
I'll talk about this later. You said Ark of the Covenant, you got me all excited. But I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on my nerd because I wanted to give you a little bit of a trivia on Ark of the Covenant. But I won't. I want to hold off. Okay, so You were tempted to buy a lot more because you almost bought something else, right? You were talking about that big Superman and.
Oh my god, yeah, they was like they had so much like there. Like there was a big like I think it was 18-inch Superman pop that I was like, I want to get it, but I'm thinking we're gonna go to the Funko Pop store later on, so I'll just hold off. Mm-hmm. And the thing was like the thing about that was that I had to get out of there because if I spent any more time in there, like I was just gonna like just buy some shit that I was gonna start regretting. Like there was like a
never regret toys you buy. I'm just saying, look at what you're surrounded by. These I cannot regret any of these. They're all masterpieces.
It's art.
Art, right?
Yes, it's art.
We want to talk about art though. I mean, there was that one Yu-Gi-Oh card that I saw. That was like $300, and it's like, oh my god, this is so good. But I'm like, I took a picture of it just so I know, like, for the record, I have seen a $300 Yu-Gi-Oh card.
You know, Oscar like had a bunch of those like Pokemon cards and sold them.
I never understood Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought they looked cool art-wise, but I never got into the game.
Okay, Anthony, what did you splurge on today?
I definitely splurged on Funko Pops today, but Toyzilla had one thing that actually like the Funko store, which we'll get into in just a little bit. It had one thing that they didn't. It was a Funko Pop of Grimlock, the leader of the Dinobots. Yeah. I'm like, yes, he's one of my favorites. It's like I want him. And I bought him and like he was in this huge like little like aisle, or, like this shelf full of like everything. Everything like Transformers.
It was cool how much Transformers.
I found it for you though. I found it for you. I was like, you walked past it, and I was like, dude, there's a fucking Grimlock right there.
You guys have this weird, and it's kind of a cool rule, but it's weird, just so you know, that you guys won't buy the same pops.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a rule that we made together. Like I think ever since.
Is that for competition reasons, or just so you guys like have like a better collection?
A little bit of both, actually. It's a little bit of both because I think at the start of it, we used to be like, oh, look at my army of pops. You can't stop me. You can't stop me right now. I have Thanos. I have Darkseid. You can't stop me at this point.
And then I'll be like, oh, look at this. Oh, I got like all I got the Fantastic Four. I got a Silver Surfer. I got Ghost Rider. I got them all Venomized Marvel characters. It's like, I can beat you out. And it's like...
And then at one point where I was like, you can't beat me at one point. Because I realized like, I won. Because I have the one pop that no one can ever beat in any universe. It's a pop of death. Now, if you go on, like, I think it's like DC Comics, Mr. Sandman, I think. It's actually like this death character. Her name is she's literally the embodiment of death. But she's like this little like goth girl that pretty much hangs around people like when they're about to die.
That's funny. Okay, so wait, what made? Because you obviously come up with the rule because there needs to be a rule in place because shit's getting out of
It's getting out of control. We buy so many pops that we're like, oh, we're running out of space.
So how do you guys decide who buys what pop?
Well, it's like sometimes we would establish like I want this one. It's like okay, you can have that one. But actually, at one point, when Infinity War was coming out, we were arguing over the Iron Man that came out, and then the Hulkbuster. Excuse me, and then I'm like, I want the Iron Man, and I was like, okay, I'll get the Hulkbuster. And like a 5-year-old, I'm like, wait, I want the Hulkbuster. I ripped it out of his hands and ran to the cashier. I'm like, take these.
That's
crushed. I was like, you took my Iron Man, but I was like, okay, whatever.
Were you okay with that, or do you still hold a resentment to it? Do you guys want to talk about it? I'm just kidding.
No.
I don't want to listen to that shit. Okay, so I bought at Toyzilla today. I bought a Rampage Funko Pop set of 3 because on the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet I got 4, which these two guys are playing on right now, which was awesome to watch you guys play. It's so much fun, right?
Gosh, oh my god, so cool!
Sector is my man, dude. Yeah. I was killing it at Sector.
The thing is, like, today it has 12 games. Unfortunately, the next time you guys come, it's going to have, like, way too many games. You probably not even know what to play, which is cool, but it's just fun. Anyways, I got that because I'm trying to get some more gaming stuff, and I do have a couple things which are cool, but I think that will put me at level. Now, I do want the Jason, the Friday the 13th Funko, the blue.
I've seen that one, yeah.
From the Nintendo.
The 8-bit.
Yeah, the 8-bit one.
Oh, I want that one so bad. Okay. So that's what I got. Moving on, Toyzilla's awesome. It's in Alhambra, in California. If you happen to be by there, check it out. It's not open for long, and they do have a line still, but it's really worth going inside. I really enjoyed that place. So check it out.
Don't be afraid of going in the basement.
No, not at all. It's in a basement, so it's weird. It's literally I felt like I was going to like a speakeasy place. Like if
Yes.
you go down there and you sit on the couch and tap 3 times, you'll like fall into this like.
It felt like I was like going to a friend's like place where it's like you go to your friend's basement and they have all this like crazy shit they have right there.
Like this, just so you know, like
it's
this.
exactly
Just,
like this.
Not like not as packed. All right, so Toyzilla, awesome. Next stop, Funko store, Hollywood.
Yes.
Your guys' first time there.
Oh my god, this was a long time coming.
Adam, I'd like to hear what you think about the Funko, but minus the hour and a half plus.
Oh my God,
what do you think about the Funko store?
Minus the hour and a half long way. It's so much fun. I mean, if you're going there for Funkos, you're gonna have a blast. But if you want to go there just for like Instagram photos, that's cool too. Because I mean, holy moly, man, holy crap! There's like so many like things you can like do there. I think the sole reason why I wanted to go there was I wanted to sit on the throne of Disney villains. That was the one thing I wanted the most. I was like, I want to sit in front of Hades. I want to sit next to Maleficent, Jafar, and the Queen of Hearts. Like that's the cool thing. That was the cool thing that I really liked from that store.
Do you feel satisfied with sitting on the throne? Do you feel closer to your evil roots, your evil DC ways?
Well, looking down at you peasants, I felt very much like royalty right there.
Yeah, okay, good. No, it was actually funny when you saw that. I was like, damn, he loves. I could tell like this was the icing, the cherry on that cake inside there. I could tell you were really into it. All right, Anthony, what did you think of the Funko store? What? Because you literally, who said this? Like you can walk 5 to 10 feet and it's a new, like you're in a new world.
It's like Disneyland, but like for Funkos.
Yeah, like you
Minus
walk,
the rides.
you're in Game of Thrones and like you hear the music. You walk into Star Wars, you hear the music. You walk into DC, you're hearing like they were playing the Batman animated theme song. You walk into Harry Potter, same thing. Marvel, it's just it's overwhelming in the best possible way. Okay, so you went in there. Obviously, I mean, you guys have probably seen it online, but when you went in, what did you think of the store?
The greatest place in the universe. Because it's like, yes, it's like definitely like almost like Funko's own theme park. It's like having its own little lands. Like, oh, here's Marvel section, going into DC with like Harry Potter in between, then Jurassic Park, Frozen, Disney, and like and then Funko's own brand of like their pops and like got like these like little creatures that, like so cute, and then like, oh my gosh, and then like this fruit section, like they make Funko Pops out of like these food mascots. It's like you almost got the Colonel Sanders.
Oh my god, that was so good. That was so good. I was like, maybe hungry too. I was like hungry.
Right, because they put this Colonel Sanders one, just to kind of give everyone a visual, in one of the big like chicken boxes. So it looks like you're buying a bucket of chicken, but inside is a T-shirt and a gold Colonel Sanders. And I was like, this is so cool. Then I changed my mind, because that's what I do. I grab a bunch of stuff and then I start putting it all back. And
start rethinking your life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what am I doing right here?
What am I doing
I
with
gotta
my
control
life?
Yes.
Which was me. You saw me do that at one point, like in like impulse grab. Like I just ran to this thing to get it.
No, the Godzilla, the big ass Godzilla.
Yeah, it was like an 18-inch Godzilla from King of the Monsters. I was like, mine. But then all of a sudden I was thinking, like throughout the day, I was thinking, I already have a Godzilla. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I was second guessing myself, but then I ended up like, no, I don't need that.
No, you guys, I thought it was cool because I could tell you guys were really enjoying yourselves, like just in general. Because when you go somewhere and you can see like people, because people will wander I could tell like the nerd in you guys came out and it was locked. Like you went to Disney, you saw the Toy Story, like, oh my god, Anthony, take a picture. Like you more so than him. He was more like chilling, but you were like, oh my god, Anthony, take a picture. Oh my god,
like,
Anthony, take a picture.
No joke. Like when we walked through the front doors, I literally felt magical because they started playing. As soon as we walked through the front door, they had the Reflection from the Mulan soundtrack playing. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was like the overall like the opening like things like you walk into. I'm pretty sure they changed the songs like every now and then, but that was the one thing we walked into and heard, and I was like, oh my god, this is the most magical like store I've ever been to.
I'm glad. It was awesome. So we all got a couple things there, and you got it. What, 2 pops? You got a
Yes. I got one of the members from the Bad Batch. He will remain unnamed.
Okay.
And then I also got Rogue from the X-Men.
That was good picks. What do I?
Yes.
I went the Disney route. I got a Funko Hollywood exclusive Donald Duck because he's my favorite Disney character. We're talking about like the big like main characters from Disney, and then I got one for my sister. This like Mushu and the Cricket because I know she like Mulan something. Okay, I'll get those two.
And then because I'm a little addicted to trying to find these chases. I got a Freddie Mercury soda,
that's right.
and I gave it to Adam because I'm like, he loves Freddie Mercury. I'm like, I don't want this. It's not the chase. It's not worth money. So I actually got that. I'm like, more so because if I would have spent a certain amount, I got a free Funko. So the guy convinced me at the counter. I wasn't hard to convince. So.
Oh wait, we gotta talk about that one family that was ahead of us though. Holy crap! So okay, yeah, waiting in line, there was a family behind us, like big family, and then like I remember at the start of the line when we got in line, the dad was like not having it. Like he was just furious that like he has to wait like for God knows how long to get in the store. And then as we're checking out, we see that same family, and they have like freaking like. It had to be over like $200 worth, like at least $200 worth of pops.
Like 20 pops, and then like I think
4 or 5 big ones.
Yeah, the 4 or 5, like the jumbo size ones. It's like, oh my gosh.
Like they are like knee deep in like pops right there.
Yeah, they had a lot. They had a couple. I didn't see. I wish I would have paid attention to see how much they spent because it had to be a couple $100. They had a big family, so I'm sure like it wasn't one. Maybe it was one person dropping it. We should have hung out with them.
Yeah, we should have seen.
Pops. They were just grabbing stuff like, probably from every aisle.
Yeah, because you go in there and literally that's how you feel. Like, oh, I need this one. Oh, I need this one. And that's what it... Because they also design the store so well that when you go in, you feel like, oh, like I remember this movie. This it's bringing me back. Oh my God, the Kool-Aid man's jumping through the wall.
Oh my God, the Kool-Aid man, that made me thirsty.
Yeah, but it makes you feel... And then you want to buy something like that. I never even wanted a Colonel Sanders pop, and like now I was like I was all about it. It was anyways. All right, so leave the Funko store. You wanted to go up and see a certain gentleman's star. So we walked up the length of Hollywood Boulevard. Where did we go?
Well, we went all the way down to probably across the Dolby Theater, right after the Jimmy Kimmel's studio. So we walked past it. There were a lot of stars I wanted to see, and I wanted to take a picture of. I took a picture of multiple stars, but the one star I wanted to actually pose with was Hans Zimmer. And if you guys don't know, he wrote like the music for The Lion King, Inception, The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, my all-time beloved favorite Disney superhero movie. But yeah, also my beloved like Disney movie. I love The Lion King so much. I was just listening to the soundtrack recently, and I just freaking cried at that one.
Yeah.
There it is.
We're trying to make Adam cry right now.
No, you're not. It's not this one though. It's the final song they play at the end of the movie where like you see Simba rise on the rock. That's the one that gets me going.
It was funny because I've worked up there. I've walked down that street. I just years and years and years, and to see you guys kind of interact with it, like it was actually kind of cool. Like for me, because I had been there so many times in my life. So watching you guys going, oh, there's this person. Oh, there's this person. It makes me, someone who has been in that area most of my life, going, oh, like this is actually a cool spot, you know? Even though it smells like piss most of the way. And there's
homeless people.
Yeah.
But anyway, you saw one too, Anthony. You saw that you didn't expect, and you got really excited for that one.
Yeah, Esposito,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah. Like the actor who played like Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad, and then like literally Moff Gideon in like Mandalorian. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like to me, he like plays almost like the perfect villain. Like
he's also that villain in Far Cry. I can't remember the new one. I think it was Far Cry 6. I think.
Yes, Far Cry 6, the new one that's coming out.
Yeah, have you ever been to one of those ceremonies to see like these guys?
Well, they're gonna have one in next couple months actually with Michael B. Jordan. He's getting one. Ewan McGregor's getting one. I'm like, oh my God.
Those are actually pretty cool to go to because they people typically will come and speak for them.
Yeah.
And it's just like a nice event because whoever's going there is a fan of that person or stuff that they've done. Yes. So it's actually, and they address the crowd. It's kind of cool. Like if you've never been, it's something to do once. Like I wouldn't say, actually I always wanted to go see Adam West get his and I couldn't because I was working that day. But that was one I always wanted to see and I never got to.
I'd be freaking out if I saw a freaking Adonis Creed get his own Hollywood star. I would just be like, great.
You guys should go down and do that. That'd be actually fun. A fun experience. Okay, so then we walked back down. We walked the length of Hollywood Boulevard, which actually was kind of cool. It wasn't too bad, like temperature-wise. It was a little hot earlier, but it was just kind of cool to walk through there. The energy was kind of fun, right? So many different people out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Then we went to the new Amoeba. Amoeba is an amazing music store in Hollywood that moved from Vine recently to another spot. I don't like this spot as much just because maybe I'm not used to it, but it's a little bit smaller. But guys, they have so many cool things in there, right? They have movies, DVDs, VHSs, posters. We were all checking out the posters. So if you ever go to Hollywood, check out Amoeba. You guys see, we didn't stand there long, but did you see anything in Amoeba you really liked?
I think the one thing the two posters that I really liked were they had the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody poster with like all like 4 of them doing that pose. And the other one was the original Godzilla poster, which I loved. I actually watched it on HBO Max. Oh my god, it's so good.
Okay. All right. We're gonna switch beats a little bit, and since the guys have the guys in the studio, I'm gonna treat them to an outdoor movie tonight. And since we're gonna be talking about outdoor movies, I wanted to kind of go into a little. And since both of these guys are movie fanatics, we're going into a little gathering at the movies.
I'm Charlie Watson. I'm 18. Today, actually. Is the Beetle for sale?
It's yours, kid. Happy birthday.
Oh my god. What are you?
So you have no idea where he came from?
No idea.
Well,
For those of you who don't know, that is I think probably the best Transformer movie that's came out, because as you guys said earlier, it's more towards the G1 type of.
It pays homage to their original design, how they look, and like the way they transform, and like you see the face underneath like their vehicles, so it's like, oh my gosh, yes. It just pays so much like respect to the originals.
The fact that it was handled by Travis Knight, who was a big fan of the original G1, loved playing with the toys. It feels good to have like a project done by someone who actually cares about the source material.
Yeah, I agree. So the only reason I play that is going to be the topper on an amazing nerd day. We're gonna watch that movie tonight. But we actually came up. We were sitting there, and each one of us came up with 2 movies. And I was actually curious as to why you picked those 2 movies. Now, first I'll tell you, Anthony's choice got picked tonight, and the reason Anthony's choice got picked is because Adam picked that choice, and I was kind of debating it because I was like, Adam should have.
Unknowingly, I was thinking about the same thing too in my head though. Like, we were both thinking the same thing.
Well, it was funny because I was thinking the other movie he was in my head too, because he picked Rogue. But we were walking down the street, and literally it was like a sign from the heavens, like a song that talked about Transformers and actually said Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, yes.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I guess this is the movie we're watching tonight. Okay, so why'd you pick what were your 2 movies you picked?
Okay, so the first movie I suggested to Sky when we were in line waiting to go into the Funko Pop store was Bumblebee and Rogue One, the Star Wars story. Mm-hmm. So the reason why I said Bumblebee was because after going down to Toys R Us, down to the basement, and seeing like every single like G1 like figure like Transformers, it's like, oh my gosh, that's all that stuck in my mind was just thinking about Transformers. So it was like I suggested Bumblebee because like that's so far out of all the Transformer like live actions that have come out, that has to be like the best so far. Yeah. And then Rogue One because that's one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I love Rogue One. When you said that, and I had thought about it earlier, and I'm like, I don't know if they want to see that. That's like but it really is a great, amazing Star Wars movie. Okay. Now we know you picked Bumblebee as well, but what was your other movie? Actually, you picked 2 after that, didn't you?
No, I picked Bumblebee. That was my first option. My second option was like, I would just go something different. I was looking through my YouTube channel and just looking through like all like the videos I made, and the only thing that came to my mind was The Big Sick, which was like this Amazon original movie that I watched a few years ago. Oh my god, so good!
I remember you talking about that before. What about that movie what made you want to say this is the movie we're gonna watch tonight?
Well, because I like how it's so easy relatable because it's based on a true story of Kumail Nanjiani meeting his wife and how she went into a coma. And the whole thing was pretty much how like acceptance of how like families in different cultures. And I thought it was very interesting. The fact that we were models in the movie made it a lot more fun for me to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Now my 2 choices were Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The reason I picked Indiana Jones, no, I didn't pick that. I picked Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the reason is, maybe I did say Temple
No,
of
yeah,
Doom.
I think you said Temple of Doom.
I didn't mean to say Temple of Doom. I like Temple of Doom.
Yes, good
but
movie.
the reason it was actually Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the reason is because we're coming up on the 40th anniversary.
Yes.
And Jeremy reminded me this week, and for those of you who are fans of the show, you'll know who Jeremy is. If you're listening for the first time, Jeremy is a gathering member who's done a couple podcasts. Actually, I play a couple of them on our regular show when I introduce the podcast. But he and I went 10 years ago to go see the 30th anniversary of that movie. And it was really cool. Jeremy reminded me that the power went out and that it wasn't playing and stuff. So it was a cool reminder, but it's 40 years ago, man. That's crazy. And it's also right on the tail end of Empire Strikes Back, which I didn't realize until sitting here in this moment just had its 40th anniversary. So I picked a movie from 1980 and a movie from 1981 who really just had their 40th anniversaries. Yep. So it was, and I love both those movies, but I think too, like, this is a good fun movie that I saw one time in the theater, Bumblebee, and I haven't really gotten back to it yet, you know, so I'm pretty excited. Okay. Now we talked about these movies. I have a question for you guys, just off the top of my head. If you had to pick a movie that's 80s kind of themed, and I'm going back, because I picked two. What would you say is your favorite 80s themed movie?
Oh, crap.
80s themed movie.
Not 80s themed. I'm not themed. I worded that wrong. Okay. 80s movie.
80s movie. Okay, 80s movie. Oh my gosh.
My favorite 80s movie, now there's Indiana Jones, there's all these amazing Star Wars movies, but the one I go back to and I watch all the time is Stand By Me. I love Stand By Me.
Stand By Me is actually
Stand
really
By
good
Me is
movie.
one of my favorite 80s movies because I'll go back to that and I find so much comfort in those friendships.
Yes.
And all, like, it's just a great, anyways, I was just thinking about that while I was sitting here. I'm like, if I had to pick an 80s movie that's probably my favorite 80s movie, like not nerd or not, and it could be nerd if you guys pick, but what would you say, Adam? Do you have one?
Oh, God. I can't think of anything else. I'm thinking about the 70s. I feel the 70s right now. I just went to the Rocky. I went to, like, Star Wars. I'm thinking, like, other stuff, like, it's not even in the 80s. For some reason, the 70s, I just can't get out of my head.
Well, you went to, and another reason I brought it up is you guys actually went to an iconic 80s
Yes.
movie site today.
Dr. Emmett Brown's house.
Right.
That just blew my mind. I was like, holy crap, this is what the DeLorean's at.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just thinking of that. Like, what do you guys kind of think?
Oh my God, the first thing that came to my mind was I just heard that little magical, like, little twinkle, like, when they have, like, they go back in time, whatever.
Yeah, when he kind of wakes up and, like, his mom's there, the little twinkle. Yeah.
Yes.
A little twinkle.
Did you have an 80s movie?
Yes, I think it actually is Back to the Future because like that for me was like the first movie I saw that tackles on like time travel, and it is like really cool. Like going back in time, saying like, oh gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Well, what's crazy with Back to the Future is anytime like they're really trying to explain and make time travel real, they have to touch on Back to the Future because people use Back to the Future as their baseline a lot of times for time travel. So interesting. All right. So you guys are here in the podcast studio. You've listened to it many times, Adam and Anthony. What is and you don't always get an ear, and sometimes you get an earful from us, Adam. And so you know it's always in fun. We love you so much. Like you are, like I always say, the yin to our yang. You balance out the podcast because you're the other side of it. The other side that a lot of times talks clearer than us of the shit we talk. But what do you have you enjoyed being part of the podcast and like kind of just, jumping in here and there? Like, it has been a fun ride for you? Because I know you do a YouTube channel, too, so.
Yeah, it's always fun to try something new and try just to talk to some people.
Yeah, it's just talking, right? It's an interesting kind of dynamic. It's very different because when you're YouTubing, you're talking to a camera.
It's scripted, but when you go on this podcast, and when I was like, every time I just so you know, guys, the fights that we go through, like, they're not scripted. They're like, it's literally us just jumping at each other's throats for just for fun reasons.
Okay, so I have one more question. Is Daniel your arch enemy?
On the podcast, yes. Okay, you know what? Hang on this. You know what? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna set this up. I'm setting this up right now. Okay?
Get ready, Danny.
Okay. Look, I'm just gonna set it up right now. I have my camera recording it right now. I'm gonna put it up right now. Okay, to everyone right now on the podcast or anyone watching this video that I'm recording right now, I'm gonna put up a poll. I'm putting up a poll right now. Is Joker a DC movie? There, I'm calling you out, Daniel. I am calling you out right now. We're going to have actual votes right now. I'm going to post it up right now on Instagram. So go to my Instagram right now. Go to our VC videos on Instagram, and we're going to find out, determine, because this has been a debate back and forth. We're going to find out, is Joker a DC movie? Yes or no? We're going to post it right now.
To be the first to answer, yes.
Thank you.
I don't know. We'll
see what democracy says. What the base of our government, of our society.
Well, I think the crowd's...
It's like, get him off the stage. Like,
no, I
it's
actually...
DC, and I'm tired of pretending it's not.
Oh, that's funny. No, but that's... no, I actually wanted to just... Because I know you and... sometimes it comes across, but I wanted to make sure, like, I think you guys have a good dynamic here on the podcast, and you and Daniel really always balance yourselves out. But to answer your question, I think it's a good debate. I think we'll always debate that. I think the Joker will be a debate for like nerds forever. Is it a DC movie or not? And I see the defense on both sides. But I have to say, like, for me, I do like comic booky movies, and the Joker was not comic booky. So that's why for me, a cartoon movie has to be on the other side.
Well, this is what we had a discussion about this about a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I say it's a DC movie because it's set in Gotham. They're the Waynes. Right. There's a character called Joker running around. It's a DC movie. If it's not, like, you cannot make the argument saying, well, it's this other different. No. If it has those elements in there, it's a DC movie.
Oh, and if you're talking on the elements, yes, at the beginning it does say it has to give homage to the characters, saying that these characters were created by DC. So in that vein, yes, I agree with you. In the other vein, I need my comic book movies. I don't agree with you, but it is owned by DC. Yes,
it's a very artsy comic book movie. It's not like your typical like popcorn thriller.
Which I think that's the route they're gonna go. So like I think that that's something I'm gonna probably have to get used to too. Like they're gonna go that route with these movies, like Venom,
yes,
and stuff. They're gonna be farther away from the from that genre. So I actually lean more with like. The Atom side of it. I understand, like, at some point, like, for some reason people want more real life stuff instead of the comic booky stuff nowadays. So you know what I mean? Like, that's why Joker was so popular, you know? Yeah. And that's why Deadpool 2 being like as violent and as vulgar as it is, it's more like what probably a superhero would be like, you know? So that's why it's so popular. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I just like going off with, like, they did something different. That's why I like, what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like when the industry does something different. So they did a Joker. I really love that movie, and I will watch it like to the day I die. And he's like, and then he gets like sick and tired of me watching the Joker because like he says like it's so depressing. But like at one point I was like, that's my jam. But out of the blue, I was just so excited. I got too excited. And my enthusiasm for the movie
his nerd actually really like exploded.
It made me look like I had serious mental issues.
But you know what? And the reason is too, and I'll defend you on this one too, is that the Joker, right? And you in the sense of you're a movie fanatic, right? Yeah. You love movies. You love good movies. You love movies that make you happy. So your education level on movies and watching them and reviewing them and criticizing them and critiquing them is probably a lot higher than, you know, at least for sure me and Anthony, and I know Daniel watched a lot of movies too, but I think that you see it on that level of art a lot more than I see it on level of entertainment. And if you're looking at it like that, you can go both ways, right? Kind of agree or disagree?
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But I think I do agree with you. It is a good, really, really, really good movie. But I think out of the fun of it, I think we will argue to the day we die.
Yeah, we will.
If it is or if it's not.
We'll see what the polls say. We'll see what everyone is saying on the polls.
And I hope that the polls at the end of the day are even, because I don't want anyone to ever win this argument. I just want to make sure it's an argument that lasts.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah, perfectly balanced argument. Okay, so one last question. If being the 4th of July weekend and all, do you guys ever have a 4th of July that you guys look back on and think is like one of your favorite, or maybe a favorite 4th of July movie, which there's not that many of them, but there's some. Maybe like, so I would say 4th of July is open. If you, something to share about 4th of July that you enjoy.
Well, I guess I like the barbecues and like just like having fun, but I guess like looking at the movies, I'm actually planning on like uploading a video for 4th of July. It's actually gonna be Jaws. I mean, I love Jaws.
Yes.
So like this, like when we're talking about a movie where everyone wants, like right now everyone's getting on quarantine, everyone wants to go to the beaches. Okay, I want to talk about the movie that made people run away from the beaches.
Yeah. Right. That movie scared people from the beaches forever.
It made me scared even going into a pool in my bathtub when I was a kid. I was like, hell no, I don't want to go in there. That shark's gonna get me.
You reminded me of a great. Thank you, Adam. You reminded me of a great like 4th of July story that I was not going to tell, and now I'm going to tell because it's awesome. All right.
Oh boy.
Anthony, what about you? What's your 4th of July like story, or maybe a movie, or just something 4th of July like if you had to?
What I love most about 4th of July is just like the fireworks. Those are the one things that I love the most, and like being able to go with my family down to like we would go down to the park where they set off the fireworks. Like we were able to like lean back on our little lawn chairs, laying down on the grass, and like stare up and be underneath all of those fireworks.
You guys used to do that when you were kids?
Well, we did that once actually. We were able to do that once, and we actually got there right like 2 seconds before the fireworks were going off. We had to run.
Oh my god! It was like pretty much like D-Day. It was like.
Because it's like we gotta run through this like sandy little creek, get up like the little hill.
So Andy's like miles ahead of us. Our dad and Victoria are like just running behind them, and I'm like, with my mom. We're just like, cover me!
And like they were launching off the first like fireworks,
and like they were red, but we were going through trees and stuff, and like when running through the trees at night, they were burning like red. Like it was like watching like it was like a battle war film. It was like run!
Oh, that's awesome. I think one of my favorite 4th of Julys was actually on July the 5th. And it was the first time I'd ever went to one of those outdoor movie things where you go and take your lounge chair and you go and they do that big blow up, and they sell them online. They're like Eat, See, Here and all that. So a friend of mine, me and Mark went, and real good guy, real nice guy. I lost touch with him over the years. But we went out there and he had never seen Jaws. Oh. And he was older than me, right? So we had never seen Jaws. So we put the lawn chairs out there, and it's a different experience. Like they have a band that plays before, and they were playing like that beach vibe, like almost like Beach Boy music. And they had these. By the way, Mark, you owe me $5 for those Red Vines ads you go buy, and I gave you 10. Just so if you're listening.
Come to collect.
Yeah, I'm coming to collect. But it was fun, man. We had a good time, and like it was that first experience of sitting outdoors watching this classic movie right near 4th of July. There had just been a shark attack the day before.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Yeah, like I remember this. I'm like, and then we're watching Jaws, and it's like it's on the 4th of July weekend. Yes. The movie's set. It's like it just all like kind of intertwined. It was really really cool. And then the second one, I was in Fort Knox, Kentucky. It was the 4th of July weekend. The one night that we get out to go relax, because I was there for an ROTC training camp for a few months. There's a fireworks show. So I walk out and I'm walking down and I'm going to go down and see this, right? You don't really, like, I didn't really know a lot of people. There was a couple guys, but they were already down there and I started late. And I'm walking down and the fireworks start going off. And there's this moment in Forrest Gump where he's running and he stops and he says he looks at this lake and he couldn't tell where the sky ends and the sky begins.
Yeah. I remember that scene.
Yes, and I literally got to the spot and I could see the fireworks up high and I couldn't tell there was a lake there, but the fireworks are below too. And I'm
that's awesome.
And it came out of nowhere. So I was like sitting here going, I get chills from it because the moment was so beautiful. It was like almost everything in my visual was lit up with these fireworks. So I always get excited. Like I forget about that. And when I think about that, I always get chills because it was such one of those moments in time where you're like, that was cool. That was random. That will never happen again. I cannot recreate that moment if I tried, but it was just really, really cool. So anyways, all right. For our fans, any happy wishes, Adam?
Oh, I just want to wish all the friends, the family that watch this podcast. We really appreciate all your support and everything.
And don't forget, give your YouTube channel a plug.
Oh yeah, if you want to just check out what I'm doing, go on YouTube, type up Arvizu videos on YouTube. It's ARVIZU videos on YouTube. I'm also the same thing on Instagram. Just go to Arvizu videos, ARVIZU videos. Go on Instagram. I just post a lot of just random stuff. But yeah, I'm always looking to like hear some new things from new people, working on some new content, looking at new videos, new anime, new movies and TV shows, that sort of stuff.
Nice. And Adam. I'm looking at I realize like you're
My
not
manager.
Adam.
He's my manager.
The manager.
I trust my manager that way.
Thank you for being on the podcast. It's your first time. I
Yes.
really appreciate it. What is your experience? Is it new? Is it weird? And what is it?
It's honestly like feels like so. It feels right, you know, just talking,
fun.
being nerdy and talking all like that nerd stuff and like everything that like relates to it.
It's a good way to get out like that, like you want to talk about nerd stuff.
Yes,
you know?
like giddiness.
And sometimes like I'm in the middle of my day and things are crazy and stuff, and I see a trailer and I'm like, I don't have anyone to talk to, and it's like then I go, I want to get to the podcast so I could talk about it, but it's fun. I'm glad you guys were here. So thank you everyone for joining this bonus episode, this 4th of July special ish episode, but more to get these two nerds on the podcast because I love these guys and they're great and they bring a certain nerd element to my life that I think is amazing. And even today, like, how do you have a better day than hanging out with two nerds and doing nerd stuff? It's awesome. So Adam, Anthony, thank you so much for joining the Gathering podcast. Hold on. I wasn't prepared, but I need to do that. The crowd goes wild. We love you guys. Thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We love you.
We love you.